One. Great. You'd think I would do that prepared to go, but alas. Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Liza and I'm doing 12 days of Vlogmas, and today I wanted to talk about Christmas traditions, holiday traditions, whatever holiday you celebrate, traditions. I really love hearing about other people's traditions and all the things that they do with their family, with their friends every single year. And I talked about this a little bit in my last sit down video where I talked about Christmas favorites and some of my hot takes about Christmas. Starting with, I'm one of those people, Thanksgiving is over. Give Thanksgiving its due, whatever that means for you. But as soon as the pie is eaten, it's Christmas time, baby. It is full tilt Christmas. I'm getting the tree. I'm decorating. I'm blasting the Christmas music. That's just how I roll. I want the entire month of December to just be Christmas. I also really like getting a real tree. Growing up, I think we always had a real tree. I don't remember going to get the tree. That's just occurring to me now. I'm fairly certain we always had a real tree growing up, but I don't remember the big outing to go get the tree. I think my dad would just bring home the tree. I'll have to ask my siblings because I really don't remember. I do remember decorating the tree every year. Everyone had the ornament that was specifically theirs or that they had to hang or whatever it was. And when I moved out of my parents' house, they gave me some of those ornaments, but some of them are still on my mom's tree. And it's really fun to go back to her house and see them floating around there. Growing up on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we were mostly at home. I know a lot of people have, a thing where they run around and see a lot of family either on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day where they're going to dinner or lunch or brunch or whatever it is. But my parents somehow made it so that we were, for the most part, home. On Christmas Eve, our neighbors who were really good friends with my parents would often have a party. So we would sometimes go over there, but that was pretty much across the street and very close. But as far as seeing family, grandparents on either side of the family, it was always a different day. I specifically remember getting together with my mom's side of the family and we'd have this kind of crazy little Christmas. It was a bunch of cousins, a bunch of kids who are all around the same age. Lots of gifts, aunts and uncles, grandparents, good food. So Christmas Eve, we would maybe go to this neighbor's party, but then we'd be home and ushered up to bed so that Santa could come. I have this really great memory one year. So a little family history for me. I am one of 5 kids. And there is a 10-year difference between me and the next oldest sibling. So I have one younger sister, and then it's me. And then there's a 10-year gap, and then I have 3 older siblings. I remember being fairly young, maybe 5 or 6, and sitting in my bedroom on Christmas Eve, getting ready to go to bed, or trying to go to bed. And my sister came into the room and maybe was reading me a story or something. And we were sitting by the window. And I looked up and saw a red light in the sky. And my sister said, "Oh, that's Rudolph. You got to go to bed. They're getting close." And I don't know if that worked, if I actually went right to bed, but it's a good idea. I definitely remember being a kid and having a lot of trouble sleeping on Christmas Eve, as I'm sure most kids do. I definitely remember my little sister convincing me it was a good idea to go sneak a peek at the presents. Because the rule was we were not allowed to go downstairs until Dad had set up all of his filming equipment and everyone was awake and we were ready to go down. And then we filed down the stairs to the living room in age order. So it would be my youngest sister and then me and then so on and so forth. And my dad used to really love taking videos and pictures. So he had filming equipment. And this was the 80s, but he had a big... It wasn't a box light, but it was a huge, I just remember coming down the stairs and being blinded by this huge spotlight. And we have all these videos of just the sleepiest looking children coming down the stairs and squinting in the bright, bright light. And all of our presents would be laid out on the furniture. So the presents from Santa for us weren't wrapped. And then the presents from like my parents and my siblings and stuff like that were under the tree wrapped. So we each had our chair that we would come down to and see what Santa had brought us. And then for a lot of my childhood, my parents would host a brunch on Christmas Day where some of my family would be invited, but it was also a lot of friends. And my mom would make this incredible spread, and the house was always decorated to the nines, and Christmas music and a fire, and we always had, you know, cute little Christmassy outfits. And I just remember it being really nice because it did mean that we didn't have to go anywhere on Christmas. We would get our presents, we would be able to play with our toys, and, you know, didn't have to run all around town, which was really, really nice and something that I am continuing with my family. For Christmas dinner, we always have a big roast, essentially. My mom loves to cook, and we would always have roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. If you don't know what Yorkshire pudding is, it is traditionally from England, and it's basically just flour and milk and eggs and butter, and you whisk it up into a batter and you bake it in the oven, and it fluffs up and puffs up and gets crispy, and it's salty and delicious. You pour gravy on it. You eat it with whatever meat you're eating it with and the vegetables all in one bite. And it is so, so, so good. So good. We would also always have Brussels sprouts growing up. And I remember getting a little bit older and realizing that that was not weird, but that not a lot of my friends knew what Brussels sprouts were or had eaten them. And I was like, we eat them all the time. So now that I have my own little family, I've had so much fun kind of creating our own traditions and carrying traditions that I grew up with and taking traditions that Mike grew up with and combining them and making our own little family traditions. On Christmas Eve, we obviously make sugar cookies for Santa, and I like to make the roll-out dough sugar cookies. You cut them out, you decorate them with royal icing or fake royal icing. So those are the cookies that we leave out for Santa typically. And we usually leave him a glass of milk. Although I'm just now remembering that growing up, we would leave Santa a glass of beer. Yeah, that was a tradition in my family, which I'm now realizing is maybe not something that a lot of families do. So we make sugar cookies for Santa. We leave them out. We also have, backtracking a little bit, I made this box for Ella's first Christmas. And so at this point, this is 11 years old, and the girls get to open it on Christmas Eve. And inside we put, obviously, The Night Before Christmas. You have to read this book on Christmas Eve. It's the best. I have it memorized. And this is actually the same. This is not the copy from my childhood, but this is the one that we had growing up, when I was growing up, that my dad would read. I just love the illustrations in this one. Anyway, we also have in here, and this is leftover from when we lived in an apartment, and we did not have a fireplace. And I saw this at a shop once, and I thought it was so cute. And it's basically, it's just a little key for Santa, and you leave it on the door so that he can get in and leave you presents. It's a special key that only Santa can use to get into your apartment if you don't have a chimney. And I thought it was so cute. And we do actually still hang this on the door. And we always say, just in case he has trouble getting down our chimney. We do have a chimney now, but just in case he has trouble, we want to make sure that he can get in. So we'll hang that on the door. And the other thing we do on Christmas Eve is I've made some special reindeer food. And we will leave a little bit of this in a bowl next to the cookies so that Santa can bring his reindeer a snack, because they're working hard too all night, right? And then also in the Christmas Eve box is a new pair of Christmas PJs. usually we do the matching family PJs and an ornament for each girl. And so they get to open that on Christmas Eve. And then we get ready for bed. Everybody puts on their Christmas PJs. And we watch Charlie Brown Christmas every Christmas Eve, which is actually a tradition that started when it was just me and Mike. And we would watch Charlie Brown Christmas. I think it was a thing where I had never seen it. Like, I didn't really watch it growing up. And he introduced it to me. And we would watch it even before we had kids. And now that we have kids, we watch it with them. We have the same rule about Christmas morning as we did when I was growing up, where you're not allowed to go down until mom and dad say it's time to go down. We also, now that the girls are older, say that you can't wake us up before 7. But right at 7 o'clock, you better bet that they are in our room and raring to go. I usually send Mike down first. He lights a fire. He gets the camera ready. We do take videos of, the girls coming down, seeing their presents, opening their presents, and all that fun stuff. We do not have an insane spotlight on them, though. But it is really nice to look back on these videos over the years of the girls coming in and opening their presents and getting excited and all that fun stuff. After the complete gift apocalypse, where everyone opens everything, and there's just wrapping paper and boxes and things all over the living room, I will go and make breakfast. Mike and I really like breakfast. Like, we like it so much that it was part of our wedding vows. And we have the same kind of traditional Christmas morning breakfast where I make orange cranberry sweet rolls. And then I just make some scrambled eggs and then some bacon and some sausage to go with it. We'll have orange juice or maybe hot chocolate. And after everybody opens all their gifts, then we sit down and have our Christmas breakfast. And we just play Christmas music all day long. We have a lovely fire, pretty much no matter what the weather is like. I can't remember the last time we had a proper, white Christmas. I hope for every single year. Maybe this year. Some other traditions we have. I always try to pick a night where we'll drive around and go look at Christmas lights. I definitely remember doing that as a kid. I remember my dad really liked doing that. And I remember all of us piling into our van and driving around town. There was actually a neighborhood really close to us where there were these big houses. It was almost like a development, but not quite. Like, the houses weren't all the same, but they were newer houses. And they would always do, big decorations. So we just kind of drive through that neighborhood and look at all their decorations. One year we did, I think in 2021, maybe 2022. No, it must have been 2021. We did one of those drive-through holiday lights things where you get tickets and you go and you tune the radio to a specific station and you just drive through this light display. And that was really fun. I feel like we should do that again this year. Maybe I'll try and find one. Another little tradition that obviously I love is Mike's aunts send us this tin full of chocolate dipped things. Now, I know in the last video I said that I don't love chocolate, and that remains true, but they send chocolate covered pretzels, which is the best way to eat chocolate, I'm convinced, and chocolate covered marshmallows and chocolate covered Oreos that they dip themselves, and it's so sweet, and I look forward to it every single year, and it's delicious, and we just spend 3 weeks essentially just walking past him picking out deliciousness. Oh, they do chocolate covered potato chips too, literally Ruffles potato chips. Oh, so good. The salty and sweet, mwah, amazing. I also really love to do little treat boxes for some neighbors and some friends. So I'll spend the whole day baking and putting together little boxes. I'm sure it'll be in a video coming up soon, actually. I should probably do that soon. But I really love picking a couple of new recipes and then sticking to some classics. I always try to do a bread, a savory thing. In the past couple of years, I've tried my hand at focaccia, which is hard for me. Bread is hard. I don't know. I'm getting better at it, but that's just a fun way to spread some Christmas cheer. And then Christmas ends and I get a little sad because I'm not a winter girl. It almost feels like we should move Christmas to the beginning of February or even the end of January, just to put it in the middle somewhere. You know what I mean? Help us get through winter. Anyway, those are some of my Christmas traditions. And I definitely want to hear about your Christmas traditions. Do you guys do anything kind of like what I do? Do you still celebrate with your family? Have you made up your own traditions? What did you keep from your childhood? I love hearing about all that stuff. So please, please, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you got this far. We are so close to 100 subscribers. Like, I think the last time I looked, I was at 97, which is so close to 100 subscribers. Anyway, so if you're not subscribed and you'd like to, that would be amazing. Hit that subscribe button and give it a like and give it a comment and all those good things. And I hope you're having an amazing day. And I'll talk to you soon. Do I look a bit like grandma? It's very possible.